Time to go.
Yeah, my girl. I like this one. They're not make her mad. Oh, yeah.
I'm coming. It's coming. We're in progress.
No, it's cookies and cream.
Beat you around head and shoulders.
Cookies and cream.
I have to.
No self-respecting dog would.
I will say,
Yeah.
we've given our dog like ginger or pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's like,
We need to
not
see
pumpkin
you treat
spice.
our dog.
Some people
Give
might.
him a pork chop, he'd be just as happy. Boom.
It is 7 p.m. Monday, October 6th, 2025, and time to start the Ferrisburg City Council meeting. Amber, could you call roll, please?
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yeah, here.
Councilmember Sias.
Here.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Here.
Councilmember Kate.
Yep.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Here.
Councilmember Sterling.
Here.
Mayor Carlson.
Here. We could all rise for the invocation by Councilmember Kate, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
Gracious God, we thank you so much for all the gifts you give us day in and day out, gifts that we don't even recognize sometimes. One of those gifts is government that you have given us to govern ourselves, our communities, our country, at all levels. It is a gift from your hand, and we pray for your guidance and your leadership as we attempt to be good and faithful stewards of that gift. I ask this in Jesus' name.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving on to number 5, public comments. This is the time on the agenda for any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to the city council. Time for public comments will be given when the agenda item is discussed. If you have a comment or question, please position yourself in line near the wall where the podium is located to ensure visibility and to be recognized. And after being recognized by the mayor, please give your name and your address of residency for the record and proceed with your comment or question. And please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment? Yes.
Lisa Royce, 17700 Navajo. Do we have a tabulation of how much city taxpayers have paid for frivolous complaints for ethics and everything that everybody goes and does? Does the city manager keep, I mean, we do the attorney for a lot of different things, but do they categorize that for, I think you know what I'm trying to say, you know, I just want to know how much money we keep paying of our taxpayer dollars to keep doing these same things over and over and over and over again. It needs to stop. So that's our taxpayer dollars that could be used in so many more positive ways than to just keep drudging up stuff from 25 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Staff, do we have any response on that?
We do have a tab, a running total. We don't not keep that, but we can get it. Any more time?
Your Honor, Greg, could you have that at the next meeting, please?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Evening. Mayor Carlson, City Council members. Lonnie Furlow, 17575 Mary Lane. I'm here with Mike Walker, and it's just back to the Klingel property at 17585 Mary Lane. I was here approximately 2 months ago, to follow up after our July 10th meeting with the zoning board that rejected his ability to file the variance request that he's looking for. And nothing was done after that. I want to give you some background again. He provided us before that meeting an overhead view of the property and all the different components of that property. There was a pad southeast corner of the property that he admitted in this particular copy that he was going to remove without going, he didn't apply for variance for that. It was roughly 2,700 square feet over the allotted 35 maximum hardscape for that property. And by taking that pad off, he's still about 2,000 square feet over. So I waited. I don't think we had a conversation back and forth, Jake, about the timing of providing some kind of push to get it to make a move. And we basically went back and forth as far as how long is it going to take before there's action taken on this property. Nothing's been done at all. Even the pad has not been removed. So basically, we're sitting here 3 months later, and this was all the way back in the year when it first came out, as far as what was being done to the property when the pad was put in, and all the other components and other amenities that he added to the property were put on after that, without any variance request. So he came back to you on July 10th asking for his variance request after the fact. And in your variance request points, okay, if you cause a problem, you can't apply for a variance. It states it very clearly. But yet nothing's been done. Now I understand, just by hearsay, that he did come back with some kind of a plan. Greg, you can probably acknowledge that. And I guess the city planner met with you as well. And that plan was, rejected as well. Well, it's not rocket science when you have everything laid out very clearly and all the square footage of each amenity on that property. That coming up with 2,000 square feet to reduce that, get into compliance, seems to be pretty simple for me. Now, in my gut feeling is that he basically provided, I think, to you, Craig, another plan which he knew was not getting down to the 35% requirement. So basically, what happens, he says, hey, look, let me come back again with another plan. I'll give my architect, see what we can come up with. I mean, at some point in time, the city council has to be able to stand up for its citizenship and its taxpayers. That if this is just a one-person build. Now, if I'm a corporation, I want to build an apartment complex in the city.
Thank you.
Okay, I think you get the point. Craig, maybe you can fill us in on what's been done up to this point.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I would like a follow-up from Craig, so we have a better understanding of the situation, if that's feasible.
Sure.
Thank you.
So Mr. Klingel submitted some information to the city of things he wanted to do. We sent it to the planner. The planner came back with a bullet point about 5 different items that needed to be addressed yet. And we're waiting for that information to be returned to us.
Your Honor? Craig, is there any way we can put a time limit on this? I mean, to the point this has been going on for quite some time.
Yep, we can. Yep.
Is it something you can do, or you need us to direct you, or?
That's something I can do. I'll get hold of Mr. Klingel tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Craig, what do you think would be a reasonable time length? 30 days? 15 days?
14 or 15 days.
Okay.
That at least applies to front of maybe Craig's including enforcer. I hope that he would present that and then people.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, Mike Walker, 17555 Mary Lane. And the reason I'm here today is just basically to back up Mr. Furlow. I think you've heard enough on it, so I won't go any further, but I would hope that you guys would take precedent to it and get it taken care of. Thank you.
Good evening. I like the new whiskers. I'm Joe Lyons, 16857 Virginia Avenue. I noticed that my name is on the agenda this evening on 7D, and I just want to clarify that I'll be able to speak freely and openly with regard to the ethics complaint that I have filed. Could you clarify that for me, please, Mr. Parliamentarian?
Mayor's discretion to whether allow public comments.
Okay.
What was the question is? To speak
Normally, people are allowed to speak openly during an agenda item. I just want to confirm that I'll be able to speak freely and perhaps even read into the record the complaint that I have filed.
I don't know if I can actually say anything on regards to this because I'm going to be recused from it. So is this a question for Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, it is.
According to our city council procedures that was passed in, I don't know, Mr. Ryder wrote it years ago. It was revised in 2019 and 2000. The agenda items that the public has a right to speak at agenda items. Took me a while to dig this up. It's buried in the box. But anyway, I don't have the specific.
Mr. Lyons,
Yeah,
I would assume it's just like anything. You can speak for the 3 minutes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
I said I would assume it's just like any other agenda item where we leave public comment for 3 minutes for whoever wants to add anything.
Your Honor?
So I will be limited to 3 minutes then?
Greg, is that what we typically do, is 3 minutes? I mean, that's what
Clear on public comments, yes.
On public comments, but not on agenda items.
Doesn't state anything on a time limit for unlimited time in the council procedures.
I just don't want
So,
to.
as I understand, there is no limit then. I could speak for 5 minutes then. I don't want to overburden you. I just
Yeah.
want to kind of set the.
So Joe, I'm just gonna go off what it says on the agenda, and it says, please limit comments to 3 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll take it as we get to the item. Thank you very much. I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you.
Former Mayor Rebecca Happ, P.O. Box 85, Furysburg 49405. Tonight, I just want to share an update regarding the Hezekiah Smith Historical Marker. While I served as mayor for Furysburg, I spent over 18 months researching, compiling certified documents, and was successfully awarded the Michigan Historical Marker for Hezekiah Smith. Additionally, I applied for a grant which covered the cost of the historical marker located at the northeast corner of Smith's Bridge. As a result of the successful project in 2021, I have been asked to present with different groups and have spoken at Grand Valley State University. Yesterday, I had the privilege to present my information regarding Hezekiah Smith to about a dozen community leaders from Muskegon County. This marker is the first Michigan historical marker for the city and also the first historical marker for the state of Michigan to have a QR code linked to an auditory recording. I shared about Mr. Smith's successes as a farmer, owning over 500 acres of property on Smith's Bayou and north to Taft Street and east past the Spring Lake Yacht Club. He also was an active civil rights leader of Ottawa and Muskegon counties, served as president of the Black People's Convention, and advocated for Black suffrage and equal rights. This group was very intrigued to hear the amazing story in the history of Mr. Smith. Then I was asked to explain the unique QR code attached to the marker. In 2021, it was the first Michigan historical marker in the state to have the QR code associated with the auditory recording that's linked to the city's website. I worked to create an initiative with students at the Ottawa County Career Line Tech Center. One of my students created the auditory recording, and a student in the Web and Game Development program created the QR code. They worked with Ottawa County Tech Department and were able to link the QR code and recording to the city's website. Our 2 tech students received recognition from the state of Michigan and also proclamations from the city of Ferrysburg for their commitment to this amazing historical project for Ferrysburg.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment tonight? Seeing none, let's move on to agenda item 6 for consideration and approval of consent agenda. 6A, approve the September 15th, 2025 City Council minutes as printed. 6B, approve this bills memo in the amount of, what is the revised amount, Craig?
$540,303.87.
Very good. And 6C, approve an event sign easement between 201 Pine Street, Ferrysburg LLC, and the City of Ferrysburg for the purpose of installing and maintaining a digital sign at 201 Pine Street. I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion?
Your Honor.
Craig, on our register here, we got water use refund for Sally Biggs. Can you explain that to me?
Water refund, the meter was put in and it was reading cubic feet instead of cubic meters. So they've been paying their bill over last couple quarters while we worked on this, and then we finally got someone from the meter company to come into town and got it straightened out. So since they overpaid, we're gonna refund them.
Okay, so that's okay. What about Murphy, Doreen Murphy?
Same thing.
Same thing? Okay, thank you.
Barry.
Your Honor, again, this month I asked why the applications for nomination to committees is not part of the agenda. I know I asked last month and I was cut off without an answer. The only answer I was given is gonna wait till after the election. I was never explained as to why that is imperative to wait until after the election. These folks have been on the waiting list since July with their applications, and I think that we need to address them. And I refuse to approve any agenda until these applications are brought forward.
Very good. Any other discussion?
Thank you, Your Honor. This application for payment, that's for Fire Barn Park?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have anything? Seeing none, Amber.
Councilmember Sias,
Nay.
Councilmember Sturley,
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, 7A presentation, Kristen Perkowski, Grand Haven Area Public School Superintendent.
Got it correct. 400 Pine Street, number 15. So I am in the work right now. Thank you, Mayor and council members, for having this evening. Our 37th presentation since the start of school. We have been out to all of the townships, area PTOs.
Chris, do you mind using the mic so our
Area
online-
PTOs, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. 400 Pine Street, number 15. And this is like our 36th presentation, and the goal is to get out in the community. This is year 29 for me in education. Year 2 is the superintendent. The board asked me to look under the hood of the district, and that's what we've done for the last 15 months. And what we're presenting is a presentation on the master plan for our district, and we're seeking feedback from the community prior to our board retreat on October 17th. So with that, just give you a quick highlight. For those that don't know, we have 12 buildings in our district. The average age is 62 years old. We've lost over 1,000 students in our school district in the last 10 years. Lots of reasons for that. Some of that are housing costs. Some of that birth rates are down in the county. Some of that during COVID, folks left and didn't come back, or they went to other schools, Christian school, or other schools outside of the area. We are a 100 square mile district, so while today I'm here, tomorrow morning I'm going to be out in almost near Allendale to the embassy for breakfast with folks out in Robinson Township. For those that don't know, we also have 6 districts that border us. And so next week I will be up at the Grand Traverse Pie, which is also in our district. Our board was up at Whippy Dip, that's in the Grand Haven School District, and we were at Alamode this summer for Scoop with the Soup. So trying to get out to areas of the district where we haven't been to make sure that we're getting stakeholder feedback from all areas. You can see how far north we go, almost, I believe, up to Menards. I'm pretty sure it's close to that area. And then all the way down to Port Sheldon area, so I will be at the Sandy Point Beach House next week for Coffee and Connect as well. We had a strategic planning process in the last year, so 32 people from every employee group, every department, and every building in the district. We spent 6 months looking at data. And these were the 3 themes that emerged that we'll be rolling out to a dashboard online this fall, starting at our November board meeting, and diving in more deeply to start moving these themes forward in our district for the next 3 to 5 years. So while the strategic plan focused on educational goals, what I'm here tonight to present is really the master plan, which is the physical infrastructure. These two are really closely aligned, but the key piece of it is getting community feedback. And because we are so vast, 100 square miles, various needs depending on where you live in our school district, we are making a huge effort to try to get to as many places as we can. So I have even had some no voters come into the office last week, and I met with 3 of them. We've been out to businesses, we're meeting with realtors. So if there's places that anyone in the room suggests that we go that we haven't been up here north of the bridge, I would be happy to schedule more. But this is really important because these 2 pieces are interlinked about what is the vision for students, and then how do we get there with the current facilities and infrastructure that we have. This is what's called a facility condition index, and it really compares what it would cost our buildings to renovate it versus replacing it new. As you can see, the district average is 68%, so that means it would cost 68% of a reno to build it new. And you can see Lakeshore Middle School wins at 80%. You can see even people call it the new high school. I want to remind people it's almost 30 years old and needs a $4 million roof. So I mean, we've got some significant issues with buildings being 62 years old. If you think of your own house, oftentimes, you're 30 years old, you're replacing some big ticket items. These were all of the things that we considered over the last 15 months with our architecture firm and our construction firm. We also, so we met every other week. I started July of 2024, 2 weeks into the job. We've been meeting with them every 2 weeks. And in January, we started meeting weekly, and we pulled in our board president and our board vice president so that they could weigh in with a lot of the community feedback they were hearing. And these are the things that the plans kept iterating every week to provide you what we're doing today. None of these are final. The board wants me to make it clear that we have been literally looking for weeks on end in getting community feedback. Our survey link that I will provide you tonight has almost 2,000 responses, which is amazing, and it's giving us some real feedback on what the future of the district could look like in light of all the data that we've reviewed, especially just a drop in enrollment and trying to be more efficient. I'm going to use the word decommission, which really means that the school district would maintain the building, but it would not be operational. And I can already tell you from the early projections in the survey that our community is not going to support that. And I think that was loud and clear last time during the last bond when Lakeshore Middle School, there wasn't a clear purpose. So when I use the term heavy renovations, which we'll talk about primarily for elementaries, but really all the buildings, these are the kinds of things people were asking, what does a heavy renovation mean? These are the kinds of things that we would be doing to our buildings in a heavy renovation situation. So I'm starting with the high school. Our Central High School, which is our alternative high school, has approximately 58 students. They're housed at Central High School in town with also 0 to 3. We have Head Start there. So there's limitations with licensing and others to expand 0 to 3 programming because that is a need. It's also a desert up here, 0 to 3 childcare. So one of the options would be to move them to a space at the high school. I can tell you early survey results, this is also not a fan favorite. However, our high school was built for approximately 2,000 students, and the projected enrollment during the 28-29 school year will be around 1,400. So there's definitely room for space for innovation, for bringing back some of the trades, trying to address some of the county concerns, because Ottawa County has a 500-student list at the Caroline Tech Center. So we could potentially offer some programming. We're in early talks with them to expand some of those offerings at our high school. So this is one option, that we could move them out of there and then expand 0 to 3 as a need in the community. For those that don't know, when we repurposed Mary A. White and became Duneside Early Learning Center, that opened up this fall, ages 3 to 5, we are already full with a waiting list, which is good news, but we also have a waiting list of students that are not in early learning. The second option would be to keep Central where it is and put it somewhere else, but not at the high school. It would limit opportunities for students to participate that didn't have transportation home for clubs and athletics if they were not at the high school. And we would need to find another place for 0 to 3, but we would still look at expanding opportunities in the community for career trek. So for instance, at a chamber event recently, the Shape Corp CEO had shared that they were going to be expanding internationally next 5 years, doubling in size, with the majority of their manufacturing footprint here in West Michigan, with the use of artificial intelligence. So we think it could be an opportunity for students in the area to be able to partner or to learn more about what the opportunities could be in the future. Middle school consideration, this would be combining Lakeshore Middle School and White Pines at the White Pines site. It would keep White Pines as a 5-6, and we would have some shared space in the middle. So gym, I'll show you a picture in just a second. And then Griffin Elementary would be no more, and there would be a 7-8 to the south. For comparison, this is almost 40 acres here. We have 16.2 at the Lakeshore site. So a lot more room to expand, do athletics, that kind of thing. For those that don't know and haven't been over there during the more normal day or afternoon, pickup and drop off with Griffins and Robin Road is also a nightmare. So this would actually create a space. There's a dotted line to the left where the Education Service Center and Bus Garage, it would be off of Beech Tree, and it would come in the back for a larger opportunity for traffic flow. So this is just, this isn't what it would look like, just a rough sketch that we'd have White Pines to the top, some shared space in the middle, and then a separate building of a 7-8 to the south. So they would operate as 2 different buildings, but they would be under one roof. It addresses some of the community concerns that there's too many transitions for our students, K4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. The other option would be to build new or renovate at the middle school. So for some, I've heard, this is the anchor of the presentation. I don't know what we're gonna do there. I've heard some people tell me about they've seen the Beach Boys here, they've gotten engaged in front of this building, and then there's other people like blow it up and build something new. It is not clear. So in this scenario, you keep some kind of legacy part of the building like the auditorium. Students would stay in the building. We would build to the north. Once that was built, the southern half would be demoed, and there would be parking and outdoor athletic facilities redesigned. And again, that's 16 acres versus, I think it's 37-ish acres at the White Pines, almost 40 acres. What's attractive about this to some families is that it provides proximity to the Y, Mulligan's Hollow, the library, and other places, but it does still have all those transitions. I will tell you that, I would probably be looping back with City Council on the fact if it ends up being at the White Pine site, just by the fact that we had a student that was hit recently last week by a car crossing the road. So if we were to do that and students wanted to be downtown, how could we limit the chances of that happening? This is another example of moving 5th grade, because currently it's a 5-6 building at White Pines, back to the elementaries and creating a 6-8 building at the current Lakeshore Middle School. This potentially would mean displacing students for 3 years while we do that. And the other option I'll share into the elementaries would be the elementary considerations. We right now have 6. This would go down to 4 with heavy renovations, as I mentioned earlier. Again, this is not the fan favorite either because of decommissioning of Griffin and Ferry. There's not clarity of that. Those are walkable in town, and that's obviously a desired option for many families. And it would require us to redistrict. If we kept the 5, it certainly would not be operationally efficient, but it would leave us room for future growth should that happen in some of the places like the Dake development that's happening near Tommy's Car Wash, that area. I'm not sure how long that's out, but I'm thinking 8 to 10 years. And the other one, which again would be 3 buildings, so it would be the Griffin White Pines would be an elementary. 152nd Street is our property. We have approximately 82 acres down there at 152nd and Lincoln. And then a third elementary at Lake Hills with a 0 to 5. So we have pulled the data. Lake Hills has 40 acres. We're bursting at the seams at Lake Hills. Kind of wish we still had an elementary in Ferrisburg, just saying, but you know, just saying. But anyway, we pulled the data, and there are 3 families looking for childcare for every 1 spot open in this northwest Ottawa, or northwest Ottawa County and into Muskegon. We draw about 40 school of choice families into Lake Hills, and so this would create a site so that we had a childcare option at that site as well. And again, not a fan favorite because we're building new, we're leaving buildings, but we're leaving buildings empty, but it would improve some of the operational efficiencies. Some people asked about 152nd and Lincoln. Again, this is about 83 acres. The pink is already buildable. It's about 50%, so that's about the size of White Pines. We would have to do soil and wetland and other vegetation kinds of studies if we were to do anything beyond that. This is a map of our current district. So the black is obviously the Grand Haven School District. Red is the heavily populated area, so you can see the majority of our elementary students currently live near the 152nd and Lincoln property. But you can also see, probably not as clearly as if you're close, but how many are in green all the way around, way up north of where we are right now even, also attend our school district. Again, these are the kind of the 3 high-level overviews. I imagine on October 17th, based on the volume of data that we've received, that it'll be some version of these. We've heard some other ideas that weren't even part of this survey that are things that we are currently exploring and working to put dollar signs to see what it would actually cost. I want to remind people that we get most of our funding from state funding, which is to operate the district. We get about 2.5% of our funding from federal, so special education, at-risk dollars. The middle section is the bond dollars where we go to the voters, because in 1994, when Proposal A went away, we now are to go to the voters with a plan and a request, and we are at 0, so $0 for any bond dollars coming in to help with our district. So my goal and legacy I hope to leave is to be able to get a bond passed. I'm assuming the board is probably going to go for that sometime in 2026, and to try to have a 5-year cadence of just a renewal. Just simply a renewal, because we are falling behind on our physical buildings, and our kids deserve better than what we've got going on right now. There are some there's a top 10 catastrophic list I now share with the board. It's called just the top 10 critical items that any one of them goes down. And for those that don't know, our high school closed down for 2 days last year because of a pipe that burst. Like, couldn't have seen that coming. We've had I call them fiber mice, chewed through fiber, cut out a wing of the high school. And I asked, well, fiber mice, like how much of that is the rest of the building? And it's literally the whole building. So it's not mouse resistant, that's our newest building. So you can imagine Ferry, who's built when Herbert Hoover was president, 1928, and every building in between, we have got some major things to overhaul. Here's what we need your feedback, ghaps.org/masterplan. The survey is available to anyone that wants to take it. If you have not seen this presentation or would like to watch it in more detail, I did it for Rotary this past week. It's available online at this site. You can go and share it or have people watch it. I really need feedback, especially on this side of the bridge, from people that traditionally have not had a voice in some of these things. And so if there's any other places to be, I'm happy to do that and or answer any questions for you. Go ahead.
Sure. Thanks for coming out and explaining all that to us. It's quite an in-depth presentation there.
15 months in the making. I know it did in like 12 minutes, but
you know it inside and out, I'm sure. Yeah, every word. I'm curious, what size of a bond are we looking at?
So the board is going to take in all this data at the October 17th board meeting. We're just putting dollars to what we're hearing from the survey. We don't want to do it too early because we're trying to wait till it closes on the 12th. So we are starting the things we are saying no to. We're not putting time and energy into that, but we literally had a meeting today, and I mean, an example of the 5 elementary renovation, I think the cost to, and I'm rough numbers, please don't quote me on this, but rough numbers were about $149 million to renovate the 5 buildings. So again, maybe that's over 2 or 3 bonds, right? I don't know what the community is going to support versus new, which was 196. So that's just one example of the kinds of numbers that we're pulling, and it's a complex. It's the first time that we've done this as a district in this capacity. Is literally look at everything from top to bottom.
Yeah, and without a current bond, I know that we're kind of in a situation where it's needed, and we're putting it off, and it's time that we pay attention to it, so.
It is, but we also have to give the community what they're going to support, and that's why we're out so much, is trying to figure out what will they support. That's what this kind of leverages. You can see strongly oppose or strongly support in each of the questions, so we can kind of gauge where people are. But that next phase will be coming the dollar amount after we've narrowed it down.
Right.
Good question, thank you.
Yeah, so I understand condensing and gaining efficiencies there, but what are you doing as a school board to like get back those? You said you're 1,000 students down.
Yeah.
What is the plan for growing?
Yeah, well, a couple things. One, we've talked with area districts, and the majority of the districts that we've talked to are down, so the birth rates are down, so we can gauge that over 5 years, and so that's taken a sharp nosedive. Secondly, one of our strategic plan goals is around stabilizing enrollment. So while we call families that leave, it's kind of autopsy data, people have already left. It's about kind of proactively, what can we do before kids even get to there where they're making decisions about a district that they, what are they looking for, and how can we try to capitalize on that? And we really believe both early childhood, potentially up here, and also in Robinson Township, which is where I'm going out tomorrow, is also a desert where there just isn't any. We had 2 daycare centers I mentioned closed down right after we made the Mary A. White transition and decision. And so families and with a waiting list, we still have families that do not have that. So we feel like that's an entry point into our district, and this outdoor discovery center is the kind of the model. It's the antidote to technology, and the research is showing that it's really gaining traction in terms of kids and student achievement. So the anxious generation was a lot of the research that's been used, and our kids are anxious, they're depressed and stressed, and being outside is, we think, the next kind of thing for us to be doing, even beyond the early learning center.
So have you seen correlations with early childhood education and long-term attendance?
Yes, for sure. Once they come into the school district, they typically don't leave.
And are you pulling people in the school district?
That will be part of the strategic plan starting in November. We're already doing that now. We're setting up the systems to be able to do that, but that's one of the strategic plan goals.
But as far as the early childhood, are the people in the early childhood in the school district? Are you pulling from outside the school?
Do they work for the district?
No. Do they live in the district?
There's some that live in the district and some that have come from other district school of choice.
So have you have any idea why people in the district are not attending the district?
I mean, housing is a big one. The majority, part of the Mary A. White decision was that the peak of students living in town were in the mid-90s. So we have been busing kids from around the district to Mary A. White when it was in elementary for almost 20 years. So meanwhile, when you go out to the other parts of the district, I have families that are like, why can I see Peach Plains Elementary, but my student has to get on a bus and drive by 2 of your elementaries to get to a home elementary?
But that's not causing them to leave the district.
Well, no, what I'm saying is families are buying houses. They're not coming to town because it's too expensive. So the housing market in general is extremely expensive. Families can't afford it. I'm a little concerned too, because another data point is I have 147 teachers retirement eligible in the next 3 to 5 years. So I'm not sure where new teachers are going to live. So if you have any developments happening here in the city of Ferrysburg, you could point me to, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's interesting because your heat map shows, what the red spot is I would think a more expensive area in the school district.
You would think that the red point is a more expensive area?
I think it is, yeah.
In terms of housing, or? Yeah, well, it depends on the subdivision. We have some trailer parks down.
Yeah.
It just depends. Yeah, we have both. We have both.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question, though.
Thank you for the information. I already went to the survey site because I heard a similar presentation during the Grand Haven Ferrysburg meet and greet over at the Grand Haven Community Center.
Great.
It was pretty easy to do.
Awesome. Thank you.
I heard an interesting statistic last week that might tie into what's going on here. For the first time, Since the bubonic plague of the 15th century, our world population is shrinking. And there's a lot of things behind that, mostly people delaying or saying no to child rearing at all. So economics are just a tiny bit of the picture, and I hope you're looking at that too, because we're seeing more and more what we used to call dinks, double income, no kids couples out there that have made the decision that children aren't going to be part of their life, and that's going to affect school districts.
Absolutely. We are hearing that as well. We did have the economic development guru from Grand Valley speak to Rotary this week too. So we are keeping up on that. And this is the challenge. What we're sharing today is not one bond. This is a 10 to 15 year look at our district. So how the board shakes us out, whether it's every 5 years, whether it's we're going to tackle this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I mean, there's still a lot of work. This is just really the physical infrastructure part, and the next phases are going to be some focus groups. We have a survey group that's actually going to be polling some focus groups in the area, some no voters, getting some feedback on different themes or what's most important to people. Is it teaching and learning spaces? Is it athletics? Is it performing arts center? Is it, you know, the physical structure of the buildings and the size of the classrooms, all of those kinds of things. And so we're going to get more detail on the operational part of that next, after the board meeting on the 17th.
Thank you.
Else have anything?
Don't hesitate to reach out to my office if there's anybody else that needs to see this or would like me to answer any other questions. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. Moving on to 7B, discussion and take action if appropriate to approve an easement between Verbank Dock Company and the city of Ferrysburg for $11,000 for leaf processing services. Craig?
So since 2009, all the 5 communities in the area have been taking their leaves to Verplanks. The Verplanks takes the leaves and they mix them with the dressing material and use it for topsoil. Earlier this year, Verplanks indicated that they will no longer take leaves, so each community was scrambling what to do with the leaves that they had in their community. Over the period of time, we've had some conversations with Verplanks, and they're willing to renew the contract with an increased cost. Last year, the city paid $4,800. The new cost is $11,000. Verplanks has indicated that the cost of leaf shredding has increased. It was probably late spring when we noticed that Verplank was not going to take leaves anymore. So we did not have any issues with the leaves that were brought to the city garage in the spring. But since we got notice that Verplank was not taking leaves, we had a contract with a waste hauler to put in a 30 gallon or cubic meter, whatever, container at the public works garage, and when people bring their leaves over there, the container gets filled up and then it gets hauled away. And since that time, late spring, we spent $3,000 to do that. If we would have had spring to account for that, the cost probably would have been another $2,000 or $3,000. So if this contract is approved, Verplanks will take the leaves from the city, from all 5 communities, and Public Works Department, when they chip brush, Verplanks will be able to take the wood chips over there. And when residents bring leaves over to the garage, Verplanks will take those leaves also. So this is something that, if it works, if it's approved, it increases the efficiency of the Public Works Department by just saving time by not having to take wood chips off-site and deliver them.
We get a motion on the floor so we can discuss this.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Support.
Okay. Anybody have anything to say about this?
Yes, sir. I've got a real hard time, a problem with the way this is being divvied up. I think you could make the argument that we are the smallest of the 5 communities that are contributing leaves. We're not? Enlighten me.
Spring Lake Village.
Spring Lake Village, okay, that's fair. But here's my point. We're not all the same size. We're not all contributing the same amount of leaves. Why are we all paying the same? That's, you know, whether or not we're the smallest or Spring Lake Village is, which I agree they are. it doesn't make sense for 5 communities to be dividing this equally when some of them are really, really big and others are pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, we share other services and bills with other municipalities, and we split it equitably based on population or whatever. I'm not sure why we don't do that.
That was something that was agreed back in 2009 when this first got together, that every community would support this project, basically to help the harbor get dredged by taking the leaves over there and split the cost. So without the dredge material be taken over to Verplanks and stored on site, to get the harbor dredged, a new site's going to have to be identified, and it's going to have to be a 20-year term to have that site used for dredge disposals.
Will
So
they
just-
not get dredge materials anymore?
I'm sorry?
Are they not going to get dredge materials anymore?
Yes, they are.
So they're still going to mix it with our chopped up leaves. They're still going to sell it as topsoil.
Correct.
Kind of making money 3 times over off the same thing.
My understanding, the market is not as robust for the topsoil as it was when we first started this project back in the 2009, 2010 area. And this is something that the communities agree to all participate equally, because it's something that equally benefits all communities by having that harbor dredged.
I think it was an easier pill to swallow equally when it was $2,000 or $4,000. It's more than double.
Well, we're spending $3,000 for the leaf container, and I think we've had 7 containers thus far this year in 3 or 4 months.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Greg, have any of the other municipalities acted on this yet?
It's on the city of Grand Haven tonight, and I think the townships are coming up next week. And all the communities have kind of agreed that they will support this project if it got to the boards and councils.
Thank you.
Your Honor?
Yes.
What's the length of this contract?
3 years.
3 years? So it's 11,000 in total for 3 years?
No, per year.
Per year? 11,000 for us?
For each community.
11,000 for each municipality.
For each
Actually, it escalates in year 2 and year 3.
It goes up year 2 and year 3.
$250 each year increase.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Can I engage Councilman Kate? And I know you said that you didn't think it was fair. Do you have a proposal that you think would be fairer?
That's just it. I don't know how we do this. I don't know how we would, is it based on weight? I don't know.
We do have a lot of treetops in
Yeah,
Ferrisburg.
I get it. And I'm just making a
I understand your argument. I don't know what the solution is.
The easy way is equitable. I get that. And I'm not proposing anything else, just a statement.
We break
Because
down.
I could upset a lot of people and say, why don't we just burn them like I did when I was a kid, but I won't go there.
We have other shared services that we split with other communities, and we pay a percentage, right, based on our population.
Like NORA, we pay is based on population and taxable value. Sewer authority is based on flow of water.
Harbor Transit.
Harbor Transit, everybody pays the 0.6 mils. All communities do that.
So I would think we could come up with a calculation that splits it fairly among the using municipalities. I would argue Spring Lake probably agrees with that as the other small community. It's a great deal for Grand Haven.
Spring Lake has a concern too, is what they do with the leaves if we don't take them
Sure.
to the lakes.
Yeah.
So they're supportive of this contract.
Your Honor? Craig, in the past, this is how we split up the cost between the 5 municipalities, each pays 20%?
20%, yes.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Craig, this issue comes up quite often, and I think it's a service that our residents really appreciate, and I think it's a service we need to maintain. My question is, have we ever explored a permanent dump site for the residents? It seems between 5 municipalities, we could come up with a 5 to 10 acre plot of land that we could use for disposal of waste and yard waste. Has city managers or any of the communities ever come together to discuss this?
No, there's may have been some brief conversation, but the communities want to take it to Verplanks so they can mix it with the dredge material to make topsoil. Years back, the city and the Spring Lake Village had a site that was out at the Coast Guard Parkway where the dog park is. And both communities would bring the leaves out there, and they would go out there and we'd put them in windrows and turn them and give it to compost to the communities. Eventually, the Park Service says we can no longer do that because the land wasn't being used for recreation. So then we started leasing land from Verplanks just south of North Shore Road. And then that's when the communities got together and decided that everybody take their leaves to Verplanks for the dredge material.
Your Honor? Craig, if we turn this down, or it gets voted down by the municipalities, does that mean that harbor dredging is gonna cease? I mean, is that part of the contingency here that to dredge the harbor, they have to have the leaves to mix it in so they can dispose of the topsoil?
My understanding is that there 29,000 cubic yards of dredge material is going to be dredged this fall. And so I'm not sure if Verplanks has enough leaves from last year to mix with the dredge material to do that.
But the dredging of the harbor has no bearing as far as this is concerned. The dredging of the harbor is gonna be done, period, correct?
It's going to be dredged this fall, period. The future, the issue with we don't mix the leaves with the topsoil, eventually those sites that Verplank has, the weirs, there's 2 of them over there, going to be full. They won't be able to empty the material out, and then they won't be able to dredge the harbor.
So to continue dredging in the future, they need to be able to mix this to get rid of the spoils, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I think this is a very necessary thing that is done for the communities. I have many, many leaves myself, and everyone around me has leaves, and I think having it done this way makes more sense than renting and paying for the separate little units like you've been doing. I feel like this needs to be passed. Everything's gone up, everything. So I guess this has gone up too.
Much more efficient for staff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Greg, in the spring, because dredging was paused, Verplank stopped taking leaves. If we have this contract, are they able to stop taking leaves in the next 3 years? Or this guarantees us a place to have leaves dropped in?
It can be terminated by 90 days written notice by either party.
Anyone else before we take a vote? Seeing none. Amber?
Councilmember Sterling.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7C, the mayor is going to recuse himself.
All right, taking over new business 7C, discussion and to take action, if appropriate, refer an ethics complaint filed by Rebecca Hopp to the city attorney or dismiss the complaint.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Should we read the complaint into the record?
Well, let's get a motion first. So at least we're working off a motion.
All right, I move.
Support.
Move to what? 'Cause
I
we-
move to refer the ethics complaint
To consider it.
to the city attorney or dismiss the complaint.
Which do you move, to refer it or dismiss it?
I say dismiss.
Okay. So we have a motion to dismiss the complaint.
Support.
We have motion and support. Now, Mr. DeWitt, if you'd like to talk or read, you're more than welcome to.
I think, in the interest of justice, we should read the actual complaint into the record.
Go ahead and proceed, Councilman. If you'd like it read into the record.
I think Amber should read it into the record.
I can do that, right? At the August 18th, 2025 City Council meeting, in response to FOIA requests that I have made and various complaints that I have filed against the Mayor Richard Carlson and other city officials, as well as actions that a fellow citizen, Joe Lyons, and his political group have taken against the mayor and the city, the mayor brazenly admitted on the record that last Thursday I met with the city manager and I told him, "You and the city attorney, Brooke Bissonnette, need to unleash everything in our city procedures. Ethics, legal, to get Joe Lyons and Rebecca Hopp off our city boards and commissions. We've got to remove the stain. It's got to happen." After the mayor made these outrageous statements, Councilmember Jerry Sias then spoke, accurately acknowledging that I've never seen a mayor attack a citizen the way you have. It's unethical in every way, and I hope that something is done about it. When provided after the meeting with the opportunity to recant and apologize, the mayor instead doubled down while being interviewed by a Grand Haven Tribune reporter, asserting, "I said what needed to be said." Later, the mayor told WZZM News that he has pledged himself to stop what he perceives as harassing behavior from me. The mayor's personal attacks and admissions that he has instructed the city manager that the city manager and the city attorney need to unleash everything on Mr. Lyons and myself to forcibly remove us from city boards and commissions, to remove the stain, clearly violate multiple sections of the city's ethic ordinance. Under section 32.81A, it is the policy of the city to uphold, promote, and demand the highest standards of ethics from elected officials, and they shall maintain the highest standards of personal integrity and fairness in carrying out their public duties. Further, section 32B6 provides that it is the intent of the ethics ordinance that a public servant, regardless of whether specifically prohibited by this chapter, shall avoid any action which might result or create the appearance of affecting adversely the confidence of the public in the integrity of the city. The mayor's statements and conduct clearly failed to uphold, promote, and demand the highest standards of ethics. Further, by ordering the city manager to unleash everything, the city manager and city attorney have in their arsenal vis-a-vis city procedures, ethics, and legal against Mr. Lyons and me to forcibly remove us from city boards and commissions for exercising our First Amendment rights and ensuring government transparency is clearly unethical. And it is undisputed that the mayor's statements and conduct adversely affect the public's confidence in the integrity of the city. The mayor also violated section 32.83's requirement that all public servants shall treat all citizens of the city with courtesy, impartiality, fairness, and equality under the law. He openly and expressly acknowledged that he has an axe to grind with me because I exercise my statutory right to file FOIA requests with the city seeking public information, as well as for filing complaints against the mayor for violations of law, including but not limited to Campaign Finance Act during his 2023 election, which he admitted to and repaid the money, and the Open Meetings Act in January 2025 when he intentionally refused to call on me to speak during public comment simply because I don't want to listen to her right now. The mayor has personal vendetta against me and now brazenly admits that he is using all resources at City Hall to improperly carry out his retribution. Finally, section 32.91 sets forth the procedure for filing and investigating an ethics complaint. Under the section, the city attorney is supposed to issue a report and determine whether a violation occurred. However, because the mayor's admissions implicate possible communications or involvement with and/or direct knowledge of the city attorney, so that the city attorney may be a witness, I respectfully request that the city retain outside counsel to investigate and adhere to the requisite procedures set forth in its ethics ordinance upon the filing of this complaint to avoid even the appearance of impropriety.
All right, so the standard of ethics complaints form cites public officer or the one that was checked in this complaint was number 3, a public officer or employee shall use personnel, resources, property, and funds under the officer or employee's official care and control judiciously and solely in accordance with prescribed constitutional, statutory, and regulatory procedures and not for personal gain or benefit. Anybody else have anything?
Just for clarification, what does that, I mean, your statement, what does it pertain to?
I was reading what the complaint.
Oh, the complaint on the form, okay, really appreciate that. Just wondering where that came from. Personally, you know, this is an unfortunate situation, and unfortunately, I wouldn't wish it had never occurred, but unfortunate it did. The mayor has, I feel, treated different citizens without fairness, and he has not used professional discretion in when speaking or when talking about citizens. And I really believe that this complaint warrants further consideration from our city attorney. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless somebody can give me a reason why we would not send this to the city attorney, I mean, I don't see where any of this complaint is in violation of our ordinances. Everything in this complaint is set forth by the ordinances, and I think it deserves scrutiny by the attorney.
Your Honor, I think Mr. Carlson overstepped, probably regrets some of the things that he said and implied in the statement he made at the meeting. Whether or not in my personal opinion, it does rise to a cause for investigation by the city attorney. There again, I'm conflicted because the city attorney has an obligation to defend us. So you're putting the city attorney in a precarious situation to prosecute on one hand and defend on the other hand. My personal opinion is it rose to the level of to threaten a citizen, any citizen, whether you think the complaint is frivolous or whatever, doesn't matter. To take and berate a citizen and threaten a citizen with the power of the city to extract revenge or however you want to say it, I think is totally unethical. That's where I think.
So Craig, help me out here. If we refer this to the city attorney, all he's going to do is make the determination if in fact number 3 was occurred.
That's correct.
He's going to make a determination if the mayor, in these comments and alleged violations of ordinances, if he used personnel resources, property, and funds under the official care and control judiciously and solely in accordance with prescribed constitutional, statutory, and regulatory procedures, and not for personal gain or benefit.
Your Honor?
Of course. Go ahead.
Did Brooks actually get involved in this to try to blackball people on, I mean, has it gone to the point where Mr. Carlson went to the city attorney he made threats of going to the city attorney, going to the attorney general? Has any of that proceeded to your knowledge?
So to my knowledge, Mr. Carlson made the statement to try to remove someone from the board. That has not gone to the city attorney.
Okay, so that, there's been no ramifications as far as that goes at this point, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor. Basically, when we changed this ordinance, when we amended it, I warned on this very situation. We gutted our ethics ordinance and narrowed it down to 6 violations for the whole charter. That means we are unaccountable for 95% of the charter now. We cannot be held accountable. This is a problem in our ethics ordinance. It was a problem then, and I warned about it then. I spoke out against it then to no avail. So now we're in a situation where the mayor has blatantly broken, well, I can't say that because it hasn't been, he's innocent until proven guilty, but we're in a situation where the mayor is being accused of violating ordinances, and we have no way to hold him accountable because we changed our ethics ordinance and referred it to only 7 ordinances we can be held accountable for out of our entire charter. So now we're in this situation. And to not send this on to further scrutiny by an attorney would be doing a disservice to the city. That's my opinion. Whether it fits under the 7 ordinances that we approved or not, under the 7.
You're saying even if it doesn't fit, we should still forward it?
Well, I think it should be forwarded, yeah. I didn't agree with this change to begin with, and I warned that it would gut our ethics ordinance and hold us unaccountable for most of the charter, and now it has.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. We need to hold ourselves accountable.
Yep.
Period.
All right, any further comments?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yes.
Craig, since we've created the ethics ordinance, how many ethics ordinance complaints have there been?
These are the first 2.
No, I'm talking from the original concept of the
Oh.
12 to 15? Okay. So since we've changed it, only those were all forwarded to the city attorney previously, correct, initially?
Yes.
And did the city attorney find any of those to be valid?
No.
Okay. So we're talking approximately a dozen previous complaints, many of them initiated from the same people. None of them have been found to be valid. I do not think this one is valid. It is not, per the definition of the box checked, does not meet the statute. I believe these ethics complaints are done in order to hurt our mayor politically. And I believe there are people up here on council that are willing to pile on because they're playing political games because we have an election in 1 month. I will not support this. I will not support the other one from Mr. Lyons. I find them to be frivolous, just like the previous ones were. That's all.
Any additional comment? All right, roll call vote, Amber?
I just wanted to be clear at this time, this is to dismiss this ordinance?
So the motion is to dismiss, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
No.
Councilmember Kate.
No.
Councilmember Sias.
No.
Councilmember Sturley.
Yes.
Motion failed.
Your Honor, I want to keep a running total from now on the cost to our taxpayers every time we have to send one of these to our city attorney. That's been asked to me by citizens, and I ask you, Craig, and I need numbers because we can't keep doing this. This is taxpayer money that we're wasting.
Correct.
That's it.
Do we need to vote then to send it to the city attorney?
Yes.
All right, I'll take a motion to vote to send it to the city attorney.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All right, roll call, Amber?
Councilmember Montgomery,
No.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Cape,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Sterling,
No.
Councilmember Murdoch,
No.
motion failed.
So Craig, what happens to this now?
We move on to the next agenda item.
All right, moving on to agenda item 7, new business D, discussion and to take action if appropriate, refer an ethics complaint filed by Joe Lyons to the city attorney or dismiss the complaint. I will entertain a motion and then we can talk about it.
I move that we dismiss the complaint.
We have a motion. Do we have support?
Support.
Motion and support to dismiss the complaint. Any conversation on this one? This was on your desk tonight.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I would like, Amber to read it into the complaint into the record, please.
Joe Lyons is a 38-year resident of Ferrysburg and a long-standing public servant and engaged citizen. I have served the city with distinction as a city council member, appointed city representative to the Loudoun Library Board, and currently as a member of the Ferrysburg Zoning Board of Appeals. Having been unanimously reappointed by the city council in June of 2025 to an additional 3-year term. In addition, I have served as a volunteer worker for the July 4th parade celebration and have lent my vocal talents by singing the Star Spangled Banner at the July 4th celebration in William Ferry Park for several decades. I'm proud also to have entertained the youth of the city by playing Santa at the annual Christmas Carol Sing in excess of 20 years. I am sadly submitting the enclosed formal ethics complaint pursuant to City of Ferrysburg Ethics Ordinance 336 regarding repeated and escalating violations by Mayor Richard Carlson, specifically regarding his conduct during the City Council meeting of August 18th, 2025, and previous incidents documented in earlier submissions. Summary of allegations. Mayor Carlson's conduct during the August 18th, 2025 council meeting includes inflammatory, false, and defamatory statements against me with clear intent to damage my reputation, impugn my integrity, and publicly malign my civic involvement. These statements were on a public platform, YouTube live stream, and recording, and in the mayor's official capacity, purportedly speaking on behalf of City Council, thereby falsely presenting personal opinions as the formal position of the City of Ferrysburg. His conduct constitutes a breach of ethical standards and official decorum and a misuse of the mayor's public office in furtherance of personal retaliation and political animus. 2. Specific conduct at issue. On the public record of the August 18, 2025 City Council meeting, video of which is available on the city's YouTube channel, Mayor Carlson made the following public comments as well as others. Additionally, today I wrote a letter to the State Attorney General demanding quick resolution to a citizen complaint regarding Joe Lyons and his illegitimate Friends of Ferrysburg political group. The citizens need some relief from this hassling. There's a valid complaint. They are trying to pick out the penalty for Lyons and this group, and I'm asking now to have something happen. And as mayor, I will always defend our city volunteers against these relentless attacks. Each of Carlson's attacks is presented without factual support, made in a public forum under the guise of official municipal business, inflammatory and defamatory, clearly intended to discredit my personality and profession. Mayor Carlson's references to a valid complaint against me calls for penalties in the absence of any adjudicated findings or due process and demonstrates a clear disregard for the principles of fairness, objectivity, and presumption of innocence that underpins ethical governance. Furthermore, Mayor Carlson struck agenda item 7B from the council meeting agenda under the justification that his comments had reference to a 30-day submission requirement required of ethics complaints as stated in City Ordinance 336, when in fact there was no pending complaint for me at that time. Additionally, he claimed his decision to do so reflected guidance from City Hall. His action and misrepresentation of process and authority undermines the public's confidence in his leadership ability, his impotence against a citizen of the community, and proper governance of the city defines his worth. Number 3, prior misconduct. I have in fact filed a previous ethics complaint against Mr. Carlson when he was acting as civil counsel advocate to the Ferrysburg Planning Commission, specifically referenced the recorded Planning Commission meeting of May 4th, 2023. At that time, Councilmember Carlson shouted, "Joe, shut up." At that time, I was making known the act of conspiracy which had been committed by a member of the Planning Commission in an unethical and egregious effort to prevent the Planning Commission from extending my name to City Council for consideration as a volunteer of my services as a member of the Ferrysburg Planning Commission. Proof of my objection to this prior incident of slander from a Planning Commission member recorded on the city's YouTube stream illustrates a pattern of hostile, retaliatory, and unprofessional conduct by the Councilman Carlson and a member of the Planning Commission. Number 4, legal and ethical violations. Mayor Carlson's behavior may constitute violations of City of Ferrysburg Ethic Ordinance 336, including provisions concerning use of office for political gain, abuse of authority, conduct bringing disrepute to the city, defamation, libel due to false public statements harmful to my character, violation of due process by implying guilt and penalties without appropriate proceedings, misrepresentation of city process by attributing personal decisions to City Hall. Number 5, requested relief. I respectfully request that the City Council and the City Attorney, number 1, accept and investigate this complaint as directed in City of Ferrysburg Ethics Ordinance 336, conduct a hearing that allows Joe Lyons to present testimony and evidence. Number 3, issue findings of fact and conclusions of law concerning Carlson's conduct. Number 4, recommend appropriate sanctions, which may include public censure, mandatory ethics training, or other remedies deemed suitable. Number 6, final remarks. Public trust is eroded when elected officials use their position to retaliate against private citizens and political opponents. I have been an engaged, respected participant in Ferrysburg's civic life for decades and deserve the basic respect and procedural fairness afforded to every citizen. Mayor Carlson's public attack, particularly under the guise of official business, is unbecoming of the office he holds and merits a formal investigation.
All right, so the standards of prohibited conduct in the State Ethics Act that were checked for this complaint were number 2, a public officer or employee will not represent his or her personal opinion as that of the agency. And then number 3, a public officer or employee shall use personnel, resources, property, and funds under the officer or employee's official care and control judiciously and solely in accordance with prescribed constitutional, statutory, and regulatory procedures, and not for personal gain or benefit. So that is what our city attorney will look at and determine if there was a violation of. Do we have any further discussion?
Your Honor, I see a direct violation in number 2. I believe that the mayor did use his personal opinion and use it of an agency, that being the city. He asked the city attorney to go after a private citizen because of his opinion or his dislike of that citizen. So I think this would fall under number 2 of the clerk statute.
So do you feel that he directed as the mayor or as the city of Ferrysburg?
I think he directed as the mayor to unleash whatever his statement was onto private citizen using the city's authority to do so by asking the attorney.
Sure,
to.
But this is saying he acted as the city of Ferrysburg.
Well, he's the mayor. He is acting as the city of Ferrysburg. in my opinion.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I agree with Jerry that I think it just went too far. I understand, people's, blood gets boiling, but, there is, no room for personal attacks such as what Mr. Carlson did to Joe Lyons, and to my knowledge, Joe was, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Lyons, you had something to say? Amber, do you mind starting the?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mayor. I think what has really given me pause in this whole thing is that Mayor Carlson, in his diatribe, was totally unfair to me, and does certainly injure my position in the community as a public servant. I've served on various committees. I have been active with the city and keeping things as an entertainer, I guess you could say. I was your Santa Claus for 20 years, for crying out loud. I never brought any consort against the mayor until the time that he told me to shut up during a planning commission meeting, wherein I was pointing out that there was a conspiracy that had been formed between a member of the planning commission and the chairman at the time. I was passing out information that supported my position on that at the time, when at the time Councilmember Carlson decided that he'd had enough. Well, I'm sorry, but there's never a time when there's enough time for people to bring complaint against their governance, particularly not in this country. And I'll take it even further than that. I'm a religious man, and in looking through my Bible, I came across in 1 Peter 3, 12 to 15. For the eyes of the Lord are toward the righteous, and his ears attend to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. Who is there to harm you if you prove zealous for what is good? But even if you should suffer for the sake of righteousness, you are blessed, and do not fear their intimidation, and do not be troubled. But sanctify Christ as Lord in your hearts, always being ready to make a defense to everyone who asks you to give an account of the hope that is in you, yet with gentleness and with reverence. And I hope you feel that I have reverence to this community. I've served a long time. I didn't deserve this. And may I continue?
I think you got your point.
Well, I think I've made a point, and I just don't understand why there had been anything brought down on me by the mayor. And I would suggest, and I would urge this council to submit this to the attorney and possibly to a third-party attorney, because we have seen that the responses from the attorney that represents you and not the citizens of this community. Thank you.
Thanks. Lisa?
You want my name and address again?
Yes, please.
Lisa Royce, 17700 Navajo. Barb Johnson was the first mayor that I started coming to these meetings. It's been quite a long time.
Excuse me, Lisa, can you use the mic? Thank you.
Barb Johnson, I've been coming for a long time. Rebecca Hop, Mr. Blees, all use their power as mayor against citizens in many different ways, on many different people. Special interest, Mr. O'Donnell, Mr. DeWitt. I got in a huge fight with Mr. Sias in the parking lot, and some of you might have heard the FU fight we had about a month ago, which was pretty much not conduct that Jerry should have done, but I didn't go run down and file a complaint. We had a difference in opinion, pretty much, you know. Mr. DeWitt tried to silence me at a meeting to tell me I can't come back. There's been tons of stuff going on for years. Mr. Lyons was recalled, maybe 22 years ago. He's held a grudge against the city for that. Lisa Menerick sat in an office at the old building when she was talking about me when I was waiting in to address my mayor. Left the door open, sat there for 25 minutes listening to her badmouth me. Did I find an ethics complaint against her? No. So this kind of stuff has been going on for years and years and years and years, on many different fronts, and it needs to stop. But most of us can fight our own battles, and this keeps going on and on. So I don't know how to make it stop. But, you know, doing this kind of stuff is the city needs to be done. Thank you.
All right, any further discussion? All right, Amber, roll call vote, clarify the vote, please, and then roll call vote.
Currently, the vote is to dismiss agenda item 7D. Councilmember DeWitt.
No.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
No.
Councilmember Sturley.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, Craig, do you want to invite the mayor back in?
Oh.
You can move on if you wish.
Oh, Craig's going to talk about our last agenda item anyways.
We can start discussing if anybody's got anything on,
Sure. You ready, Amber? We're just gonna, so we'll cover 7E, discussion, take action if appropriate to schedule a work session.
Sure.
The regular agenda item on October 24th, 2025. Anybody have anything before Craig gets back as far as ideas they want added?
I don't know what to do with that Klingel thing. He's presented 2 or 3 different plans to but no action is getting done. To the point that Mike Walker and I forget his name were here at all the meetings. It was agreed that one parking area has to go. He admitted it. The city his architect admitted it. If we could get him to do that, it would calm.
Well, I think Craig's taken that for action. I don't know that we need a work session on it.
Well, I think what we should do is put it as a work session and have Craig give us a report. This has gone on for what, 3 or 4 months now.
Okay.
Mr. Klingel, we've had several meetings with him. The mayor and I met with him. It just seems like, I hate to put it this way, but it sounds like a stall tactic.
Can I ask you a question, Mike?
Sure.
If you remove this pad, would all of this stop? Would you stop complaining? Would Mr. Walker stop complaining? Would all the complaints stop if the pad was removed?
If that pad gets removed, I think they won't be here screaming every council meeting.
If Mr. Klingel comes back to Craig and says, I'll have that pad removed in 14 days, do you think everybody would be sufficient with that?
That would be a start. He's way over beyond that, but at least that would get them off our.
Because what I keep hearing is about this pad. Somehow this pad is the hangup and why people are having the problem with Klingle's house. So if that's the hangup, we direct Mr. Klingle to remove it, give him days to remove it. Are people gonna be back in here complaining about Klingle's house that it's not conforming to zoning ordinances?
That would calm them down enough to let the city planner get, the city planner's involved, and they keep coming back with plans that he knows are not gonna pass. His engineer or architect or whatever you call him, I think he's an architect, keeps presenting plans that he knows is not gonna pass. City plan. I don't know where we go from here.
I just don't want our council meetings turning into the Brian Klingle rental house meeting every 2 weeks, and that's what this has turned into. It reminds me of the speeding down North Shore. Like every meeting, we're talking about Klingle's house.
Yeah, well.
So, like, that's why I asked, if we get rid of the pad and give him 14 days, are we gonna put this to rest for a few months? Or is there gonna be something else the next meeting?
Craig, we were discussing Mr. Klingle and the removal of that pad. Do you think that calmed the whole situation down with the neighbors? If you got that parking pad out of there?
I can review that with them.
That's their main concern, correct?
That's more of a question than
Well, the question that Jake presented to me was, if that pad, if we ordered him to remove that pad in 14 days, you think that's gonna calm down the neighbors enough to let the city planner go from there forward? I mean, I'm getting tired. I'm getting calls 3-4 times a
I
week.
guess they'd have to answer that, right? I guess you can't answer it, and Craig probably can't answer it. But that's my hope, is that if we can put some concrete deadlines on this, some actionable deadlines on it, with some real actionable things like removing this pad.
Craig, can the city, I think I asked you earlier, but can the city mandate so many days to some action?
Yes, but we should get back to the agenda at this time, maybe talk about this during both
It came
hours.
up because he wants to do this as a
Okay.
work session.
Okay.
So the thought was that this probably wouldn't be a productive work session if you can just take action.
Well, we gotta put some kind of time limit on it, because
okay.
So can you put a time limit on it, and then we don't necessarily have to have a work session? You good with
that satisfies me, just so
Okay.
we keep moving forward.
Any other recommendations for work sessions? Craig, you had one.
Right, I want to talk about leasing the space here at City Hall.
Is it time for Craig's evaluation?
No.
No.
At the next meeting?
Yeah, next meeting. I'm still
Right,
waiting.
I mean, you wanna put that on as a work session? Is that gonna be on the agenda for the next meeting?
I'm still waiting from several people. I'll send an email out.
I haven't seen a form to fill out yet.
Okay. We got it at some point, but I'll send the form out and we can put it on the next agenda. Mike and I can meet prior to that.
Yeah, give me a call and we can meet in the evening or meet at your house or whatever.
Yep.
Give me a couple days' notice.
So are we good with a work session for rentals?
So we'll just have one work session for the rental of City Hall.
Okay.
Is everybody good with that? You need a vote on that, Craig?
No, consensus is fine.
Okay. All right, open up for public comments. No public comments. Reports, city manager?
No report?
All right, city council members, Mike, you want to start?
Yeah, I saw Bill Cates' email on 168th a few weeks ago or a month ago. I made a point of traveling it, even if I'm going to Muskegon, I leave and go around that way. I have seen no indication of excess speed, and I deliberately go 30 mile an hour to see if anybody will pass me. So I think that we can put that whole process to bed, okay?
Bill?
That's it.
I had a wonderful time in Colorado last week, and I wish I was there. So.
It's two of us.
Anything else?
No.
All right, rub it in. Jake?
No report.
All right, Jerry?
No report.
Yep.
Beautification Commission meets next Monday, and then we will continue planning our Halloween Monster Bash.
All right, look forward to the Monster Mash. Excited for
It's
that.
always fun.
Nora posted, as I mentioned before, posted a position on Grand Haven's website to hire an executive director to replace Crispin Hecken. The posting is now down as of last Friday. We have, I believe, 16 candidates. So we'll be calling for an off-cycle meeting over the next couple weeks with the board to determine who we will be interviewing for that position. So that will be posted, and I'm sure Craig will put that in packets as well, or at least the results of it. But that'll be posted publicly, obviously. Other than that, no further report, so motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
On the part, Craig. I ain't sure what it's for, but.
Goes on